Welcome to Let's Talk About It Tuesday.
Whoa, hold on. Gee, Mom, I'm really thirsty. Are you thirsty?
I am thirsty.
That is so weird that we're thirsty at the same time.
Wait.
Let me just... Hold on. Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, wait, what is this? What are these? Oh.
Thanks, Dee.
So for anyone who's just listening, we're just getting after showing off our Let's Talk About It Tuesday cups that were so nicely given to us by Dee. So thank you,
Dee.
shout out. All right, Mom, continue. I'm sorry, that was awkward. I didn't even plan that. It was so weird that it just happened like that.
Yeah. I'm Georgette. I am Mom and...
Son, TJ, howdy.
And we're passionate about psychology and helping you use it to live your best life.
You gosh darn right.
So we've been talking about different kind of relationships, adult friendships, and then romantic relationships. So now we're going to talk about singlehood. We're going to put the sing in single. All right. So the interesting thing about singlehood, I think, is that we automatically associate with it a sad status, right?
Yeah. Hit the nail on the head. Bam.
When somebody says they're single, we think, they must be lonely, or it must be something wrong with them, or they're picky, right? So it's the automatic go-to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you think about the events that we celebrate in our lives, Valentine's Day, which we just had, bachelorette parties, weddings, they do not celebrate singlehood.
No. Well, even then, Christmas and every so often is every other holiday is really focused about the family orientation, right?
Right. And so we're going to, again, give some respect to people who have made that choice, that different choice in their life. Over 110 million Americans 18 and over are single, and that number is rising. People are staying single longer. In 2018, the highest median age ever for first marriages was 29 to 30 for men and 27 to 28 for women. In the 1960s, those numbers were 20 for women and 23 for men. Quite a big change, yeah. So then the question is, why are people staying single longer? Well, I'll let you answer that first. What do you think?
I think we have so many different options nowadays. I think traveling is so much more accessible. Getting different opportunities that requires a lot of freedom and other things like that. People are traveling more. Social media obviously makes it more challenging, as well as makes it more readily available. But yeah, some things like that, I would say.
Right. Not the right time in their life, people say. They might be pursuing educational or professional advancement, waiting to have enough money to secure a good future. Lack of suitable partners might be an issue. And then the other issue is changing in the perception of whether marriage is really a necessity. That's been something that has caused some people to think twice about getting married. There are some benefits to being single. We'll see if you agree with these. More time to develop strong friendships.
Yes.
More time to focus on health.
Yes.
They say single people exercise more and have a lower BMI on average than married women.
Yes.
Okay, do not answer this next one. Single people have more sex.
You know. Oh, you know.
Single people's most important relationship is with themselves, and so they get to learn more about themselves.
Yeah.
And another benefit is fewer regrets. You get to explore life on your terms.
No regrets.
Yeah. Or regrets, like that movie.
Regrets.
Yeah. So we have some advice. If you are one of those people who are single because you just haven't met the right person yet, invest in your friendships. Avoid reading into your future. Continue dating. Join social groups that are specific to your interests. And don't buy into the cultural expectations that you have to be in a relationship. There's some information on why a person might be having a hard time finding the right person. And that could be, and this could be a show in and of itself, really. But sometimes we have defenses that are up. Sometimes we make unhealthy choices. We're attracted to unhealthy. It's almost like sabotaging our own relationships.
Isolation, isolation, fighting, and so on and so forth.
Fear of intimacy, pickiness,
being vulnerable, giving into completely to somebody. Yeah.
Low self-esteem, fear of competition, rules. We have rules too. Do you have rules?
Yeah. What do you mean rules?
Like, you won't date somebody who this or that.
No. Of course, there's the clear cut ones, but no huge rules or established.
Right.
I guess list.
All those things that I just mentioned again could be a show in and of itself. Why those are up. The one thing
got the time for that.
Yeah, not in one episode. But what I think is really important to do first before you have a relationship with somebody else is have a relationship with yourself. Loving yourself. When you love yourself, you feel worthy of that love from yourself and from others. Your love has no conditions. It's grounded in a respect for all parts of who you are, even the bad experiences. It's having the courage and grace to be imperfect. Believing in yourself and identifying and meeting your own needs.
I like it. Stay there, right? So that you feel worthy of love from yourself and others, because we should keep that in mind, because so easily do we give love to other people, but it's much harder to give it to ourselves, right? We are just like everybody else, right? Your love has no conditions. Normally, it's either specific things that bother us or even small things that you've done in the past that you're like, oh, I'm stupid, oh, I'm this. But you have to unconditionally love yourself through the mistakes and not latch onto them, because when you latch onto them, that becomes more a part of your psyche as opposed to accepting it and moving on. So loving yourself unconditionally, grounded in respect for all parts of you, including experiences, good and bad. The bad experiences in your life, the very, very minimum, have been utilized or can be utilized for the betterment of you and your self-improvement for later on in your life. Having the courage and grace to be imperfect. We have this idea that perfection exists, or that's what we should strive for. But no, exactly. Having courage and, failing gracefully, dare I say, and then also doing anything gracefully. Having belief in yourself, easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? On paper it is, but actually doing it is a little bit harder. It is identifying and meeting your needs, right? So once again, identifying maybe the things that you don't necessarily like all that about yourself, or some things in the past that have happened to you, right? Identifying what you need in order to move on past them. At the very least, it's normally experience and just talking it out and getting it out.
Right. I read something, somebody posed the question, think about the messages you say to yourself. Would you say those to somebody else? If the answer is no, then you're not treating yourself with your same respect you treat with other people with.
Yep.
So think about that.
Bird's eye view.
Yeah.
Give someone else that your problem, try to treat that person, and you will come up with the answer so much more easy.
So why is it so hard to love ourselves? Negativity bias.
Great negativity bias, yeah.
Yeah, so basically that is if there are two equal stimuli, you're going to focus on the one that's the more negative. We all do it.
Every single person.
Yeah.
Natural predisposition.
And then attentional filters is another thing. When we're bombarded with information, our perspective is really aligned with whatever one we're focusing on at that moment. We have the option at any time to change our perspective.
To shift focus, to consciously shift it away from the negative where subconsciously we're more easily to fall into.
Yeah.
Boom.
So we got some advice on how to take care of you. And these are things that should be done daily. And TJ, I wonder how many of these you do. Let's see.
All right, let me stretch for these answers.
Okay. Prioritize sleep, number one.
I like sleeping and I do it a lot. I don't necessarily prioritize it.
No, I don't either,
but
I should.
But I don't need to, because I don't really do late stuff, so I'm in bed early anyways.
Right. Exercise. I know you do
that.
that.
Pass. Next question.
Meditate or self-reflect.
Yes. Pass. Next question.
Express gratitude.
Every morning for 5 minutes as I'm getting out of bed, at least, and then throughout the day, every time I can think about it. If I have one negative thought, I try to replace it with 5 very quickly from a conscious standpoint.
Oh, I like that. Live your faith or spirituality.
Yes. I don't know how to expand on that, but yeah. Yes, I do.
Eat a healthy, nutrient-dense diet.
Oh, yeah. Always got them good snacks on my desk. The veggies, the fruits, and then you cook pretty healthy. Props. Yeah. Shout out.
Set boundaries for yourself.
Yeah. Well, I don't have a lot of boundaries. So my boundaries are that I don't have a lot of boundaries, but maybe the other people, I need to boundary based on their boundaries, and that was very confusing.
I need to set boundaries. And I think sometimes, specifically, I think on social media, I think use it in a healthy way. and set that boundary. And I think that you'll see an immediate difference. Play. Do you play every day?
Play the piano now.
Yeah,
you hear me playing, right? Go outside for a run, a walk, a jog. Get out there, do something, express yourself in some way.
Throw a ball and let the dog chase it. Little things. Surround yourself with supportive people.
Yeah.
And treat yourself every day. Treat yourself to something.
Treat yourself. Treat yourself.
Do you do all of those then?
I think so.
I think so. Yeah, I don't. I have to work on that, doing that a little bit more. I need to prioritize sleep. That's number one. Anybody who knows me knows that needs to be moved up on my list. Something else you should do to take care of you is increase your self-awareness. Understand who you are, what you want, how you behave, and why. And one of the ways you can do that is by education. I mean, listening to our podcast, we're hoping is going to increase your understanding of why you are the way you are and how to make better choices. Pay attention to your body. It's not just a mental, it's a physical as well. Label your emotions.
Yes. Identify them.
Yeah.
Feel them, identify them, but work through them as opposed to just letting them.
Right. If you label them, it gives you an opportunity to question them. Why am I responding this way? Ask for feedback. And that doesn't mean the number of likes you get for posting something. And then ground yourself. Think about 5 things you can... Oh, go ahead.
You skip journaling.
Oh, I skipped journaling.
Journaling, too.
Super important. Yeah.
Slacker.
And then ground
working
yourself.
Hard or hardly working.
Think about 5 things you can see, hear, and feel. Just kind of center yourself and where you are at the moment.
Yeah, those are some the good senses, right? When you're meditating, right? Focusing in on smells, and even trying to think about other smells, see what they smell like, and then hear different sounds that you like, and that could be a good way to pair with your diaphragmatic breathing and to pair from a meditation perspective if it's hard to just sit there with no thoughts, hum, and then be floating off the ground.
Right. Other things you can do to take care of you is embrace your flaws, forgive yourself, practice compassion, and something called opposite action, which is basically reframing how you think and react.
By doing the exact opposite of that automatic negative feeling, or maybe even the one that's persisted throughout time, something along those lines, I imagine.
Absolutely, yeah.
Boom, drop the mic, get out my face.
One of the examples they gave is instead of restricting yourself from, if you're trying to eat healthily to say, oh no, I can't have any chocolate, let yourself have 1 piece of chocolate. There's no reason you have to be so strict with yourself and so hard on yourself.
Let me help you out. Girl Scout cookies are going out right now. Try to have 1 a day. 1 a day. How many is in there? That'll be a month worth of treats.
Yeah.
And then when you want to have more than 1, because you're going to want to, opposite action. I'm going to do this because I know it'll be better for my improvement as a human being, which is exactly what I want. Exactly what I want.
Right. All right. That is all we have on Singlehood. You want to expand on anything?
Check that out. 12 Singlehood. Nah, man, just love it, dude. Go on individual trips. Go out by yourself and other things like that as well, because that's another thing. People think that you have to do things with other people. You can go to the movies. You can go bowling. You can go to the park. There's a lot of things that you can do by yourself. And once again, treating yourself and acting like you are kind of on a date, and it's with yourself. Right. You are with someone. You are with yourself, right? Some of us are lucky enough to have that second person, but at the very least, we have that, and the right person will come along.
And I think, too,
when the time is right.
If you are the kind of person that goes from relationship to relationship because you feel that pressure to always be in a relationship, maybe take some time out between relationships and have that relationship with yourself. Reflect on what worked, what didn't work, why it worked.
Yeah, they say that people that bounce around are the ones that have the hardest time being around themselves because they don't necessarily like themselves all that much. I'm not saying that that's necessarily the case with you, but if that's a tendency that you've noticed, maybe that's an option that you haven't explored yet.
And if anybody in your life is pressuring you to not be single or making you feel bad about not being single or being single, send them a link to this podcast and ask them to subscribe. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right. That's all we have for you today. We're going to see you next. Let's Talk About It Tuesday. We love you for watching.
Oh, is that the ending now?
Oh, well, we could say, according to the mere exposure effect, if you continue watching, you'll like us more.
We need to come up with a new one that you like, one that tickles your fancy.
One that does, yes. We'll work on that. Oh, you can send us ideas.
Ooh, comment ideas on that.
Bye.